Interestingly, people from other countries often embrace American popular culture through its music. While generally perceived as exclusive to the United States, the influence of early American jazz music stretches worldwide. In Japan, where Dixieland jazz and the rhythmic pulse of the four-string banjo is immensely popular, one particular banjoist is regarded by his musical colleagues as one of the most masterful players ever to pick up the instrument. And, not so surprisingly, with the proliferation of audio and video music via the internet, many banjo players around the world share the same opinion. The man is Ken Aoki. Born in the densely populated Chiba region of Japan in 1979, Ken's first exposure to 1920s American music came courtesy of an antique wind-up phonograph and a cache of old jazz records. Intrigued by the sound of the banjo, Aoki set out to find one for himself. No small task in a country where many music stores did not know what a banjo was. Finally finding an inexpensive 5-string banjo with the 5th string removed, Ken Aoki literally willed himself to learn to play the tenor banjo. Teaching himself from an antique instruction method book by William Banjo Bill Bowen and records, most notably from Harry Reeser, through his high school years, Ken played the tenor banjo exclusively. However, after hearing recordings by plectrum banjoists such as Eddie Peabody, Perry Bechtel, Buddy Wachter, Brad Roth, and Doug Maddox, when a Buddy Wachter instructional video found its way to Aoki's hands, his progress really took off. At the age of 18, Ken Aoki's professional career began. Performing first with a traditional jazz band called Dixie Castle, Aoki found respect for and flourished within the Japanese sensibility of embracing all types of music, allowing him to make a career as a professional musician. In addition to regional gigs in Japanese nightclubs, restaurants, corporate and civic events, and school programs that feature live music, as Aoki's skill and reputation grew, he became a worldwide banjo phenomenon as the result of an international tour in 2004, as well as appearances at festivals in the Netherlands, Hungary, and the United States. Although relatively young and half a world away from much of his strongest musical influence and inspiration, Ken Aoki was able to amass a great understanding of musical insight coupled with the development of a very personal playing style which is, in part, a respectful homage to every player or influence which has positively impacted him in the past. An immensely talented yet humble practitioner of the diverse musical styles the banjo is capable of creating, Aoki routinely avoids the bombastic showmanship often associated with the banjo, favoring instead a simple, smart, and natural presentation in which he always hopes to make his banjo sing. With a warm smile and impeccable musicianship, Ken Aoki has introduced the banjo to a large international audience in the most positive and musical manner possible, proving, beyond a doubt, that music truly is a universal language.
I'd like to welcome to the stage the man you've just learned about. Please welcome Mr. Ken Aoki and his dear friend Sato Yash.
Beyond the blue horizon.
Ken Aoki and Sato Yash. Hey, Ken, I don't know if this will be a surprise to you or not, but someone here would really like to say a few words about you before you accept your award. So sit down and stay there. I think he'd like to talk to you. Because when Buddy Wachter wants to talk about somebody he really likes as a musician, we listen. Buddy is a 2-time inductee into the American Banjo Museum Hall of Fame. And among all of us that love the 4-string banjo, he is the best player, the most inspirational player we've ever been around. And we're honored to call him a great friend as well. So to say a few words about our new honoree, welcome Buddy Wachter.
Congratulations. We had a jam session last night. It was incredible. Not a word was spoken. And Sato and Ken together, playing with Tyler and me, went back and forth in a jam session, exchanging ideas and doing permutations of ideas and new strokes, and not a word of speech was spoken. And we realized we got done. Music transcends all of this. Politics, economics, all the world's problems. And we just had a ball playing last night. And although Ken speaks very little English, his friend Sato has been helpful in translating. And we had a 2-hour lunch today. And I just grilled him. I wanted to know what drove this guy to be as crazy as the handful of the rest of us who really were driven to do this. And as we're doing the translation, he totally lit up and he said, these are his words. He said, "It is a fire inside. And it drives me to play more and to practice incessantly, all the time." And I said, "Where is the force that's driving you?" And he reached his hands above his head. He said, "From here." And it comes down and fills me like a spirit. And it drives and guides what I'm playing. It's very, very powerful. Very powerful. And the coolest thing about that is that it's an invisible connection that all of us as players have. It's the same guy in there, the same heart and soul that drives all this. And you talk about community. This guy, although Johnny made it look like there's a lot of popular banjo stuff going in Japan, that's not true. He didn't have a big banjo community over there. We all had bands to go to in our town, multiple bands, players to visit, banjo clubs everywhere. This guy didn't have that. And he's like a rose that grew up in the middle of all this with an idea, and he explained this to me. He liked the sound of the banjo because it was like other Japanese instruments, koto, things like that, that had an unusual voice. He thought the banjo had an unusual voice and he could use it to play his own folk music. But then he discovered the role that it played in other kinds of music there. And what he is so, your word was grateful. And this is a humble guy. He is so grateful to be honored by us in what he terms the real banjo community. This is what he's seen, dreamed of. He listened to all of us playing on the screen. That's been an inspiration to him. And now I would like to offer you our partnership as a brother in our community. That's it. Great to have Ken.
I think this award may weigh more than you. But on behalf of the American Banjo Museum, the board of directors, all the past Hall of Fame members, congratulations.